allergy meds were draining my wallet. Hoping it would cure my dog Minnie's
Good evening. Good evening, live from Melbourne, Florida. It's Saturday night. How you doing, everybody? Good to see you. People are coming in. How you all doing? I'm feeling great. Feeling great. We put a link to tonight's panel up in the chat so you guys can start to think about getting yourself set up and coming in. I will pin it up there. And I want to do something here and make sure I can put it in a couple more times to see if we can't get a nice crowd. This has been a great week for the evening live streams. You've had a lot of viewers, great participation in the panel, a lot of fun. I'm hoping tonight will surpass the Tuesday and Thursday chats. We'll see. We'll see. Don't disappoint me now. You won't like me if you disappoint me. I got my decaf here tonight. If you got it, drink it. Oh, it's good. That's good. Let's see who we got here. Mike Seeley from Tampa, first one in, and Peter Tauber, week 4, FW2 in Williston, Floridian. Hiya, Peter. How are you? Welcome. Good to see you. Sandy Bly chimed in. Oh, what fun. Well, that's the plan. Richard Williams. Williams is here from Copper Hill, Tennessee. Hi, Richard. Good evening to you. And Mike Seeley in Melbourne. All the regular, early, usual suspects are here. Ribeye Susie chimed in. Hi, Susie. How you doing? Good to see you. Kathy, a.k.a. Florida, a.k.a. Pond Apple. Hello from South Florida. More Floridians. Bride's Biscuit is here. Good evening, Mitch and fam. Marla Kelly, good evening, everyone. Lori Weissel is singing and dancing. How you doing, Lori? Good to see you tonight. Lout Burns, greeting from the beautiful Catskill Mountains of New York with 1 foot of fresh snow. Wow. It's beautiful up there. It's beautiful up there. When I was a kid in Philadelphia, being a Jewish kid, our vacation spot was always the Catskill Mountains, Nevele, Grossinger's, all those places. I don't know if any of them are still there, but it was a great place to go. Great place to go. Running Tap 12. Good day, Mitch. It's Jeannie from Australia at 11 a.m. Sunday. Jeannie from the future. How you doing, Jeannie? Good to see you. Good to see you. Indy Annie. Carnivore says, if only I was retired. I like your avatar. M-A-H-A. Maha. I like that. I like that. Laurie says, hi, handsome. I will assume you're referring to me. Thank you, Laurie. Thank you so much for that. Evening, folks, said Mark C. And grateful. Coco, hello, Mitch, and chat. Nice music. I like that. I like that music. I really like Latin music. Always have. Always have. I play a lot of Latin music. Something about the rhythms. They just trigger something in me. I don't know if I have any Latin American ancestors or not, but I'm right at home with the culture. You don't have to come on, Mitch. Loving the music, says Sandy. Okay. See you later. Just kidding. Just kidding. Be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. Saying goes. Brenda McIntyre. Brenda, evening, everyone. Elgin, Illinois. Don't let your meat loaf Always sage advice. Never gets old. It's like Sam Mitch. I like that. I like that. That's cute. Anyway, here's the link again for the chat. Come on, guys. Don't be shy. We got a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about tonight. Boston Danny's with us. Hi, Boston. Danny said hi. And Mike from Canada. Good evening from St. Catharines. And Gary has popped into the green room. Good. I got somebody to talk to. Now let's fill it up while I get done welcoming everybody. Who's verse 1 and it's 7? I breezed right over it. 777. It was Brenda McIntyre. Brenda McIntyre hit it right on the money. Congratulations, Brenda. Donna Ray, breaking runners here. Happy Saturday from the beautiful state of Maine. Probably a chilly state of Maine, I would imagine tonight. And Barry Simon, my good friend, good evening, Mitch, and all the SNL Mitchfits, he says. And here's Lori being bad again. SMH Cast, how are you? Good to see you this evening. Edward Renner's here. Good to see you. And we have Louis Latino is here with us. Hi, Louis. How you doing? Like to see you in the panel tonight. Spanky, always a pleasure, my friend, from up in Canada. What's going on? Yeah, this is what's going on. And everybody's chatting back and forth, and over to 703. So I'll keep going for try to pick out the new people. Good evening, Tammy. How are you? And y'all, Mitch Fitz and Spanky and David. Hey, it's Louis. Boy, ask and you get. You see, you don't ask, you don't get. David Desanya. Oh, I've known David for a long time. When I first converted my channel to carnivore quite a while ago, I actually ended up talking to David on the phone. We had a great conversation, and I haven't seen very much of him, but glad you're here. Latin music. My wife is from Venezuela. I hear it a lot. Good to see you, David. I missed you. We've missed you. Thinks I'm looking great. That reminds me of a funny thing that happened today. You know, that video I put up, it's been up for 2 days now. The video about skipping my physical this year. Well, it did it. That video did it. And we'll talk about that with the panel. It's going crazy. It's up to like 35,000 views already. I've gotten 500-600 comments on that video. I've read every comment. I've read and either hearted it or answered. And all of those comments, except one, made me smile or validated my position. The one comment was one guy wanted to re-educate me about how stupid and foolish I am to actually have had the guts to utter the word evolution. He wrote me a 5,000-word essay. I kept scrolling down and scrolling down. Where's the bottom of this? Where's the bottom of this? Where's the bottom of this? I never did get to the bottom of it. I can't believe the sales pitch. I hid that user from the channel. I don't ever want to hear from him again. He can feel free to believe in any religion he wants. And so can I. So other than that one, and I'm surprised I only got one out of 500 or 600 comments. Was a miracle. But it's been a great response. It's validated so many things about YouTube where I think I've been correct all along. I credit a lot of the way this has taken off, and even a video I posted today about the recipe. Out of the last 10 videos, the big one was number one. This one, with maybe 5 or 6 hours out of the gate, is number two. It's not keeping up with the first one, but it's far outpacing what I did. I think the main thing I can credit that to is me taking the word carnivore out of my channel name. It's unbelievable. We'll see what happens in the future. But YouTube is now promoting my videos, pushing them out to people who don't know me. And honest to God, I'm starting to see numbers like I did when I first started, before I think they started shadow banning and throttling us. I want to show you a little something. I think you'll find it interesting. This is the video. Let me refresh the page now and get the latest numbers up there. This is the video that I was talking about. Views are 14 times higher than usual. More subscribers are choosing to watch it, and they're watching it longer, helping to increase its reach on YouTube. Right now, I'm at 34,526 views. I got 3.1 thousand watch hours. Now, any of you new YouTubers are desperately trying to get to 4,000 watch hours. And that's what's required by YouTube to get monetized. 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours. That 4,000 watch hours seems insurmountable. Takes most people months. Some people a year never reached that number of watch hours. You do live streams to build hours. This video alone, and it boggles my mind, got 3,100 watch hours, which is 75% of what you need from scratch in one video in 2 days. I have gained 563 subscribers from one video. And as far as right now, my estimated revenue for this video is $67. Whoopee. This is the chart. You see, it's leveled off. It usually levels off this time of day. It did the same thing yesterday, this time, and then it took off today. There were times during the day when I was getting almost 3,000 views an hour on this, and it's still going strong. It's still going strong. It boggles the mind. The last hour, I got 700 views on it. You can tell an awful lot from these statistics. And something else happened to me today. Hang in there in the panel. I'll get to you in a minute. I just thought people would be interested in this, and I wanted to get it out of the way before I had you on the screen, because I need the whole screen for this. I got a, let me find it. I got something from YouTube that I never got before. Never, ever got anything like this on any of my videos. And it's, I don't know if you're going to be able to read this or not. Let me download it. Hang on a second, so I can put it on the screen and blow it up. Download it. Okay. And let's go open it up. There it is. If you give me a second, I will make it big enough to read. There we go. Okay, YouTube sent me a comment summary. I never saw anything like this before. A comment summary. Their AI read every comment. It read every comment. And I guess because there are so many of them, it summarized the consensus of all the comments. And I thought this was fascinating. Viewers overwhelmingly support the creator's decision to forego annual physical and blood tests, reflecting a deep-seated distrust in the conventional medical system and a strong belief in self-managed health through diet and lifestyle. Do you, in your wildest dreams, do you ever think you would have ever heard Google say anything like that? In this case, the AI only learned from you guys. It learned what you think from my comments. It learned how you feel, your priorities. And using its algorithms, it summarized the data that it had available to it, which is only your comments. And it gave these answers that were fabulous. But you'll never get these answers out of conventional AI. You never get an answer like this out of conventional AI. Bullet points. Medical system destruct. Talked about very frequently. A vast majority of comments express so profound skepticism and disillusionment with the modern healthcare system, perceiving it as profit-driven by big pharma and doctors rather than genuinely focused on patient well-being, with many sharing negative personal experiences. Validation of self-managed health carnivore, that, and they go on. Avoidance of medical interventions was frequently mentioned. Many viewers actively avoid doctors, hospitals, and various medical procedures like colonoscopies, mammograms, and taking prescribed medications. I love this, especially statins. Preferring natural remedies or only seeking professional help for acute injuries. I got to tell you, you guys, this is not AI. This is what you guys said in your comments. AI did a fabulous job of compiling it. And for the first time, I actually see something produced by this artificial intelligence that mirrors reality because it took its data directly from your comments. It's a great, great, great feature. I never thought I'd see anything like it. Okay, I wanted to show you guys that. I thought it'd be fascinating. It's fascinating to me. Let's see if my channel continues on this new wonderful trend, which has got me all fired up. And I was losing 10 subscribers a day for the past couple months. I gained them all back at one video. I'm now 46,400. Incredible, incredible. So my channel's growing again. My channel's growing again. I never thought it would happen. And I think taking the word carnivore out of my channel name may have had a tremendous amount to do with it. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay, let's bring in the boys. And we got room for plenty more. Room for plenty more. Here's the link again. Yes, sir. And we have Gary.
Good evening, everybody.
How you doing, my friend?
Well, actually, I feel a little tired, Mitch.
Why?
Probably, I was out protesting ICE today. And
you didn't have to go all the way to Minnesota. You could have done it right where you are, you know.
Well, I just went out into my garage. I was defrosting the meat freezer.
Yeah.
And I was chanting, ICE has got to go. ICE has got to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I get it. That's a joke. Okay.
Yeah.
Very clever. Very clever. Very clever.
I think I need a new comedy writer.
I don't know. Yeah, that was funny. It's a good thing you didn't go all the way to Minnesota and then realize your freezer was still at home. You know that. Oh man, 10,000. You know what I always say? And I usually say it to myself when I try to be funny. I say there's 10,000 unemployed comedians right now in the United States of America. And here we are trying to be a comedian.
Hey, Mitch, Lori says you pinned the wrong comment.
What was I supposed to pin? Oh, I pinned Lori's comment that said woohoo. I did. Thank you, Lori. Well, you got to be famous for a while. Okay, here comes the right comment. There it is. The link to tonight's panel. Okay. Thank you, Lori. Well, say thank you. You got to be a star for a minute with your comment that said woohoo. It must, you know what happened? I put the thing over the button to pin it, and a new comment probably came in and jumped that up one comment underneath where I was working. So that happens. Thank you for telling me. Thank you for relaying it to me. All right, we got Lewis here. What kind of view is that? Oh, a cat view. You think you're in bed, man.
If you see I only have one arm, it's because I have a cat problem right now.
I see that. Yeah. How you doing, man? Look at your beard.
That's good, right?
You look like a mountain man. You look like a mountain man there. Wow.
I'm catching up with Gary.
Yeah, you got a long way to go. You and me both. Okay.
What's that cat's name, Lewis?
This is Zelda.
Zelda.
She's my girl.
Is she fixed?
Of course.
Well, if they're young, they may not be fixed, but
no, yeah, she's not young. She's 10.
Jean Marc is here, brother. Jean Marc Bordeaux says the cat is a star of the show. They
Always.
Usually are. Juliet says, Coach Juliet Eden says, "Aw," and then puts up four cat emojis. Yeah,
with
cute,
heart,
cute.
with heart in the eyes.
Oh,
so I wonder if that YouTube AI thing for the comments, would it have done it if the comments were more diverse, or was it like easy for it to do it because they were all the same?
Well, it was probably. If the comments are up there on the video, anybody who wants to read them can read them.
Yeah,
it took me an entire day to get through them. That's how many comments I read, and tried to answer them or at least give them a heart. The only ones that I didn't hide but didn't give a heart to were the religious ones.
Right.
Where they come onto my platform and do their missionary work. And if they're not too egregious, I just say, okay. I need to do something to get them out of my feed, or else I keep coming up. So I have to either say heart, I got to put a comment of some kind, and I usually just put okay because it doesn't offend anybody. And if they're really, really on another planet,
you block them.
like this one comment today, I just hide them from so their comments don't show up. And before I hide anybody, I go and look at their comment history over the history of my channel. I can see every comment that every user ever put on any video. And the ones that I hide are the ones that this is their first comment or second comment. In other words, they just found me and they said, fresh meat, we need to convert this guy. We need to save this sinner. More power to them. I admire their guts and their fortitude, but they're aiming at absolutely the wrong target. Even religious people get tired of these people, because you're never religious enough. You're never religious enough. And they all have all the same talking points, but this thing, I kept scrolling, screen after screen after screen, and we got to the end of it. I couldn't believe it. I didn't even read it. I just kept looking for
and
the
you would
end.
think that they would put a character. You think they would put a character limit? There's not even. I guess there's no.
Well, they
character
don't
limit
on these comments. It's amazing. You can just keep talking. It's incredible. But this one kept going and going, and I finally said, "That's enough. I looked to see how many times the guy commented. He had commented twice, both on the same video. I hadn't got to his other comment yet. I didn't want to. So.
He probably was like, what? He probably wrote the first comment when he was halfway through, and then you said something else and triggered him again, and he wrote another comment.
I said one word that triggered him because he said, this comment started with,
evolution.
I agree with everything you say. I feel the same way about the medical community. But when you said evolution, boom, he let it go. Just let it go. So one thing that I said in that video caused him to work that hard. I have a funny feeling he has all of that and just cut and pastes it. Because nobody sits there and types that much answering one comment on one video. It's incredible. But we'll see. And then I made my little cooking video today, and I'm not going to release a video tomorrow. I'm going to give these 2 videos that I released a chance to play themselves out. I don't want to.
Yeah, how is the cooking video performing?
It's number 2. It's number 2. Let me look. I don't know right now. It's no, because I can see how it's performing compared to the let's see, where's top 10. Let me go to comments, video statistics.
Oh, Gary has a friend. Who's that, Gary?
Oh, this is Cat Show.
Drex.
Rex?
People are going to think this is a cat house.
Drex.
Okay, right now it's at well, I don't know if you can see it there. Let me get rid of that. It says nobody's buying me a coffee yet. Let me get rid of that thing. Hold on a second here. Where is it? Let me get it off the screen. You see that line? See the green line there?
Yes.
This gray line is my normal range.
And
right now,
this is for the cooking video.
The cooking video is three times higher than usual. So they're starting to promote this. At the same time, which is, I released it at 2 o'clock, 1 or 2 o'clock. So it's been up there about 5-6 hours. It's got 284 views now. At this same time, the same number of hours that other video of mine had about 5,000 views. It was performing half as well, but I wouldn't expect it to perform anywhere even near that because
your cooking videos are always popular. People like to,
but not as popular as that video.
No,
that took off. That absolutely took off. I have no idea where it's going to top out because they're still pushing it. And the reason they're pushing it is it got a lot of views in the first hour. But I've had that happen before, and it didn't get pushed. But it happened after I got the word carnivore out of my YouTube channel name.
We'll never know if that was it. We'll never know.
Well, if all of a sudden my channel starts performing like it used to, and I start to get 10 times as many views on all my videos as I used to get,
because you're the same guy in all the videos. So
I'm the same guy. I'll have to say. Maybe it has something to do with it. Oh, I see Thomas is there. Hiya, Thomas. Oh, I didn't mean to ignore you. We got the usual suspects here tonight.
Sorry,
how
Thomas.
about somebody new? Give us somebody to bust on. Come on.
Just banging on the basement door there, and
All right, Thomas. Where's your cat?
Where's my cat? Don't have one.
Everyone else has a cat. Mitch
No, I don't have a cat. I don't have a cat.
Monkey.
I have a monkey.
Yes.
Yes, I do. Right here. Here's my monkey. I should probably pet him. Let me see if I can pet him.
There you go.
Spank, how you doing, Spank? I can scratch his back.
Yes, you could do that, right?
Rich, bring Spanky on.
He's on.
He is on.
The real Spanky.
Oh, the real Spanky. Well, I would bring him on if he came in. I can't go out and get him. Yes.
Why not?
That's to click the link.
Oh, he was saying in the green. Never mind.
Spanky did. He was looking up to you, Thomas. I see up here. He said, check the green room. Check the green room. David is here. David Desanier is here. Where? Is right here.
Oh,
Hey, good to see you. I saw your StreamYard link. I've done it a couple of times. I said, hey, let me get on here and say hello real quick.
That's great, man. How long has it been since we talked on the phone? Over 2 years at least.
Yeah, I think so. I think we had a good talk on the phone, and I from then on I was just kind of following you, emailing you here and there, you know.
Yeah, and then you disappeared.
Well, you know, part of it was I had been retired for a few years, and about a little over a year ago, I got asked to do some a little bit of contracting type work, and I was kind of busy with that, but I'm pretty much
I
back to normal.
Nobody has to justify. That's a normal course of things. I mean, I have people that after you communicate heavily and get to a point where all of a sudden other things keep grabbing your attention and then just kind of fades away. That's life.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
life.
Well, I wanted to. One of the things I wanted to say, you know, I'm next week I hit my 3-year carniversary, so I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah. And
Yeah, look at Thomas got fireworks, man. You guys are.
I think Mitch. You must be pretty close to that too, because it seemed like we both started.
Oh, I'm over. I'm at 3.5 years. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. Because
Yeah.
I remember we were both kind of like when I started it. I had stumbled onto your channel as well.
Yeah, I started at the end of January. It'll be 3.5 years. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, long time, a lot of days. But who's counting? Who's counting?
Yeah, I mean, I've learned. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I learned over the 3 years, eating this way. But especially when it comes to traveling. But for the most part, people say this diet is not sustainable, but it's just such a simple diet that I'm only eating every now and then. I eat something a little bit different on the meat side, but I'm eating a lot of ground meat, a lot of eggs, a lot of New York strip, and a lot of and maybe a little bit of ribeyes when I can get them on sale, and roast.
Yeah. Do you eat any chicken or fish?
A little bit. Once in a while, man, I get this hunger pang for a baked chicken, and I'll bake a chicken, and every now and then I'll eat some wild, some wild caught tuna or wild salmon, with a lot of butter, and I can't get full on that stuff, so I usually will kill that with half a pound of ground beef or something,
Yeah. Well, I found out with that cooking video I just put out that you mix 5 big eggs with almost a pound of salmon, because it's 15-ounce cans.
Yeah, I saw that.
I got to make an announcement about the cans to you guys, and maybe it'll get in the replays and everything. People will hear it. The salmon that I used is salmon that I bought a load of way back when it cost $6 a can. I went on after I made the video. I said, I haven't checked that link in a while. I better check the link on my website. And that brand of salmon now, for 12 of them, tripled in price. Tripled. I said, oh, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Nobody's going to pay $18 a can for that salmon, even though it's good. Mm-hmm. So I went hunting. And I started looking at other brands that Amazon sells. And I found one that is from Bumblebee. But when you look at the ingredients list, it's exactly the same thing. Wild caught sockeye salmon. All right. The lion sleeps tonight. All right. Who was that? Where'd that come from? They sell 12 cans for $50 of the Bumblebee brand. So I changed the link on my website to go to the Bumblebee. $50. That makes it even cheaper.
And the ingredients were comparable?
Yeah, it's the same. It's most canned salmon is the same. How can you screw up canned salmon? And it has they say with the skin, some bone, a little bit of cartilage in there. Nothing that you can't chew, but it's got everything. And remember, I even poured off the liquid, and I'm going to use that in something because that's a nutrition bomb too.
Yeah, I make
So
that same dish.
Yeah, I made that. I made that dish yesterday, and I ate it. And even at 3 o'clock this afternoon, I wasn't hungry yet. That was so satiating. And today, I had already planned to make salmon fillets. And I had taken out about, I guess, a total of 8 to 10 ounces of these frozen fillets, and I'm all defrosted and ready to go. So at 3 o'clock this afternoon, I fried up those 2 fillets in a frying pan with a bunch of butter, and then another 5 eggs, and basically 8 eggs and salmon today. And
Yeah,
I may not eat for a week now. So
that's an easy meal to make too.
you saw, and there's no cleanup. No
It's
cleanup. You rinse out a few things, and voila.
Yeah.
It's crazy, a crazy good meal that people just don't think of. I also like to, since I eat eggs every day now, I'm convinced that we need to be talking more about eggs and less about ribeyes. When you talk about affordable, I pay $5 for 18 of those pasture-raised big brown eggs. What do you?
That's a good price.
Yeah,
I'm getting them. I'm getting them free from a friend that has a whole bunch of chickens. Doesn't know what to do with his eggs, so he just gives me a couple of dozen. But I still buy them at the store.
That's even a better price. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get every now and then I'll give him a couple of bucks. I'll bring him one of his favorite things to drink or whatever. But he always hands me a couple of dozen eggs. But I supplement that with eggs. I'm commonly getting eggs right now at about $1.40 a dozen. At the grocery store.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's great.
But
eggs are so cheap, so cheap. And ground beef and eggs, you could eat until there's no tomorrow and not spend $10 if you could. You can't eat $10 worth of beef, eggs and ground beef if you tried.
No.
Yeah.
That'd be a half a dozen eggs and a pound and a half of
Pound,
ground beef. Crazy.
Well,
So,
can I add one thing about eating ground meat?
sorry, Jerry, I saw you there, and yeah, go ahead, David. About ground beef?
I commonly buy 80-20 ground meat, and one thing I've noticed a lot of people. Well, not a lot of people. The people that I kind of associate with that are eating kind of the same way, they will kind of cook up the ground meat, scoop out the meat, and they leave most of the fat and almost all of the fats, that rendered fat, still in the pan. And I try to tell her, and I try to tell people, it's not, if you cook 80-20 and you leave almost all of that fat in there, you're pretty much not eating 80-20 anymore. I try to eat as much of that fat as I can, and that is what really fills me up. Because I mean, I'll eat a little bit of the meat, and I make sure I get some of that rendered fat on the spoon, and I am stuffed when I finish a pound of it. And I mean, literally, I hardly can eat anymore. Like, I feel disgusted. Like, I can't, like I just don't want to take another bite. And I'm only eating once a day now. After starting about a year ago, I got to the point where anywhere between 2 and 4, 2 and 5 o'clock, I eat, and that's it till the next day. And it's maybe a pound to a pound and a half of ground meat, some eggs if I'm still hungry, with some chopped bacon or something in there. Because I make sure to eat all the fat from the bacon too.
Well, you're doing kind of what I found is, like, if I cook the bacon in the frying pan and then just put the eggs in on top of all that fat, the eggs soak up the fat.
Yes,
they soak it all up. They just like a sponge. When I'm done, like you saw in that video I put today, any of the butter left over, anything. When I was done, I had a clean pan. All I need to do is take a paper towel and there's almost nothing to wipe out. And you're seasoning the pan with a little bit of natural animal fats.
Yeah.
And it was delicious. But it's the fat, and that's one of the great truisms. That's one of the major. Let me get rid of Spanky's getting tired. Let me get rid of Spanky. Bye, Spanky.
Not you, golf addict.
There we are. Not you, Spanky, but the monkey. One of the great failures. One of the great failures, And anybody that doesn't believe that it was put in on purpose to sabotage any requirements that the hospitals, the schools, the military, old people in nursing homes, whoever has to abide by the federal food guidelines has to limit saturated fat to
10%.
10%.
So we're gonna have chicken breast and
You're going to have the
Everything
same low
lean.
fat. You're going to have the same low because they're going to put all the fruits and vegetables and nuts in, two to four servings of whole grains, and the same amount of meat. No meat, because they're going to be watched like a hawk by big pharma and big food to make sure that they'll be sued if they got 11% of the calories in any meal coming from saturated fat. So they are limiting any of the good advice. Now, that is still good. We've still gone a long way. I watched, I hear a lot of people just making videos where they're besides themselves, how good this is and what a revolution it's going to cause. And they're just so wrong. But it will help. It's still a positive step.
Yeah,
But
it's not going to flip. It's not the food pyramid's been flipped, but it's not going to flip the health of the nation.
No, it won't flip the requirements of all the people who have to rely on the national guide, because the pyramid is just a picture. The thing that really counts are the 9 pages of text that they wrote, where it says limit saturated fat to 10%. The dumbest thing. And we're stuck with this for 5 years. So for the next 5 years, still status quo. Nobody is running to the meat counter. Nobody's running to the meat counter, throwing it. Nobody's cleaning their house out of Cheerios,
I mean, listen, I think
Doritos,
I think
Oreos.
the focus on whole foods is important. You know, I mean, I know they didn't say it, but all those cereals are out. You know, I mean, it is. You're right. It's not what it should be, but it is a step in the right direction.
What's going to be interesting and it's going to make good commentary. You're absolutely right.
Oh,
Louis.
yeah, good content.
Oh,
What's going to make good content in the future is going to be watching how the marketing and labeling changes on the very same breakfast cereals they're selling today, bragging about the fact that it conforms, no matter what kind of gyrations and schemes they have to use.
You'll have the pyramid on the box. Watch.
They'll come up with a way to brag about the fact that the same old poisonous, unhealthy, processed breakfast cereals are the healthiest option. And they'll quote John Kellogg again. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and nothing's going to change. But,
Well, yeah, maybe if they think that they're eating that bowl of cereal with a cup of whole milk in it, that'll be a big improvement, but it really won't.
it'll be an improvement if they use whole milk instead of skim milk.
Yeah.
But a bowl of cereal with whole milk will use up your allotment of 10% of saturated fat for the day. So then you won't be able to eat any meat. And you're going to have to pick from all the vegetables and fruits that they show on the food pyramid. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to give away one of my future videos. I'm going to take two of those food pyramids, and in my Photoshop, on one of the pyramids, I'm going to Photoshop everything that isn't meat out of it. So all you're going to see are just a few things of meat in there. Then on the other pyramid, I'm going to remove everything that's an animal product. And most people probably won't even notice that the meat was gone. So that's the overall impression. And like Ken Berry said in his video, when you look at the food pyramid, normally you look at the overall picture, and if you don't scan around with your eyes, you don't even see the meat. All you see is all of that crap in the middle, all the vegetables and fruits and everything else. So they appeased the farmers, they appeased the USDA, they appeased the money. They appeased the money by putting that 10% limit in, and completely sabotaged it. And it was a sneaky way to sabotage it. They slipped it in. They had to know that it would sabotage it, but they couldn't get most people to sign off on it until they could assure them, especially the money people, that this really, it looks good, but it means nothing.
Yeah,
Look what they've done with the food dyes. They said it would take 2 years for them to completely get rid of the food dyes. They're still in there. It's going to be the same with the sad diet.
Yeah, I think so. But and then they don't factor in the fact that they're using the number 88%. I've heard that in a number of videos over the past couple of days. 88% of Americans are metabolically unhealthy. 88%. That means that 88% people have insulin resistance. That means that those 88% of people are at a higher risk of heart disease. They're probably all carb addicts. Because why else would somebody eat all that crap that doesn't satisfy your appetite? It's the fat, like you said, David, that we all know is what satisfies your appetite and adds flavor.
Yeah.
A well-marbled steak that's dripping with fat tastes so much better. The flavor is so much better with the fat. Ice cream is so much better when it's full fat. You know, milk is so much better. It's less like white sugar water when you got whole milk. Or
Mitch, just to add, Nick Norowitz is about one of his recent videos. He mentioned that he is meeting with somebody that sat on that board that had to do with the new food pyramid, and he's going and they have a meeting set up to discuss this ridiculously limited amount of saturated fat and how it's virtually impossible to get enough saturated fat. So he said his next video he's gonna maybe update how the meeting turned out, because they're actually trying to hope they'll keep bumping up that amount of saturated fat to where it's at least something that can sustain you for the meal.
They may not have any legal mechanism at this point to be able to change it, even if they want to. I don't know what the rules are for this. But yeah, I have to believe that most of the committee were the ones that insisted they put the 10% in to protect their own interests, because it's a very biased committee, very conflicted. And those same people that insisted that they wouldn't sign off unless it had that in there are not likely to change no matter how loud Ken Berry or Nick Norowitz or Nina Teicholz. Nina Teicholz had a great on Low Carb USA channel. I could make videos about nothing but recommended videos that I think people should watch, but I don't get many views on those, so it's not worth the effort. But Nina Teicholz on a video on the Low Carb USA channel put out almost an hour, and nobody knows more about the politics of the food pyramid and all that nonsense than Nina Teicholz. She was the first one that initially exposed the shenanigans 10, 12 years ago when nobody even gave it a second thought.
Her book is called The Big Fat Surprise.
The Big Fat Surprise, yeah. You're right, Peter. How you doing, Peter? Good to see you this evening. Yes.
I just ate a huge fatty ribeye monster that I cut off that big prime rib roast that I cut into 5 steaks.
Yeah. How was it?
Oh, my God. And I told you, I guess I didn't tell you. Last night I had some pretzels. It gave me such a bellyache.
Why?
Oh, my God.
Why did you eat pretzels? Why did you eat pretzels, Peter?
They were at work. I don't know. And I grabbed just a little bit, like a little miniature
So
handful.
are the cookies, Peter. No.
I don't understand. Why would you do that?
I don't know.
You're strong.
That's
every
addiction,
time.
Peter. That's addiction.
Mitch will tell you it's addiction.
Well,
But anyway,
Peter,
here's the good news. It got me so sick. I didn't have them in my house or anything. They were at work. But I thought, what would 3 or 4 little mini pretzels do? It was like 3 or 4 little miniature pretzels.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I got to tell you something. It wrecked my stomach. Gas, bloating, diarrhea, like horrible.
I'm
ruined. I'm ruined.
I went through the blueberry adventure
Yeah.
a month and a half ago. Prior to going carnivore, I always had gout in the big toe on my left foot.
Yeah.
So painful sometimes that even trying to sleep, the weight of the sheet on my foot was excruciating.
I had that too.
Yeah. Well, the blueberries, it seems,
Brought
flared
it back.
up my gout again.
Yeah.
And when I gave up the blueberries, the gout went away.
I got to tell you,
it hasn't returned. It's amazing.
My body has become so sensitive to stuff now. I'm kind of ruined. I can't even stray off. When I do, I feel it.
Yeah.
Well, you're not ruined. You're working the way you're supposed to work.
Right.
You haven't become numb.
Yeah.
To the bad effects of these things, and they're not accumulating. But I got us away from the blueberries. The reason you ate the pretzels, it just validates what I say all the time, is that no matter how much self-control you think you have, when your subconscious mind wants something, it turns off all reasoning and throws lame excuses and rationalities at you. And you said to yourself, more than likely, well, 3 or 4 won't hurt me. And you gave yourself permission.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. And you can't stop that. You have to turn off the physiology that triggers in the first place. And you can't do that until you stop giving into it. And if you give into it once every 2 weeks or once every 4 weeks, you'll never overcome it. Never overcome it.
Now, for the last 14 years, I've been eating oopsie cake to celebrate my mother's birthday when I break the fast.
Yeah.
This year, I realized I can't do it as small as that oopsie cake was. I had it within the same day. My sinuses cleared. I cannot eat dairy anymore. I don't want that feeling anymore. So no more dairy, no hard feelings. Can't do it. No, thank you.
And if you eat the right foods, you'll be satiated. And that'll shut off your addictions. But that doesn't mean you're still not an addict. You're still not an addict. There are alcoholics out there got their 10-year chip. Somebody convinces them one little drink won't hurt them. Next thing you know, they're homeless, divorced, living in a gutter somewhere.
Right.
After 10 years of sobriety from one little drink. You can't fool it. Once your subconscious learns that you do get a pleasure response and a dopamine and serotonin bump from those things, it never forgets that. Never forgets it. We like to say we've cured our addictions. We've just put them to sleep, convinced our brains finally that we don't need this stuff. That was a want, not a need. And it turns off the cravings. And it takes a couple of weeks to do that, which is why it takes most people at least a month of being able to eat no carbs completely, no plants, before it gets easy. So
we've all seen the rainbow on the cartoons as children. The more you know, ding.
Yeah. And eat the rainbow, kids, by the way.
But here's the good news. I had bacon and eggs. I did the Mitch breakfast, bacon and eggs, and then I had a ribeye for dinner. I'm back 100%.
Yeah,
that's great. Oh, Peter, I wanted to ask you: are you going to that low carb Boca thing?
No.
Tampa.
No, Boca.
No, there's one in Boca
this weekend. It's sponsored by Low Carb USA.
I'll be selling furniture.
Symposium. It's not really a meetup. It's a symposium. Civus is going to be there. Bosworth's going to be there.
Oh, I love Civus so much.
A bunch of other people I don't know. Well, Civus lives there, so I mean, or close to there, so he can come.
Yeah.
$500 to get in.
Yeah, you know what? I'd rather take $500 and buy
ribeye.
Yes.
Ribeyes?
Pretzels.
Oh, heck yeah.
$500 to get in. I thought it was a
$500.
big
I can
meetup. I would go down to it, but I'm not going to go down there. By the time I'm done driving there, putting myself up in a hotel at $300 a night, $350. They got it at the Marriott, expensive hotel.
No way.
I'll spend $1,000, $1,500 to go there for 2 days.
What's the point? You know how
Listen to
much
Rob Sivers, who I disagree with on so many levels. So many levels.
$1,500 of steak?
Yeah. And I disagree with, I mean, I love her and she does a lot of good, but I disagree vehemently with Bosworth, with Annette Bosworth. I disagree with having to walk around monitoring everything through 5 times a day, to know exactly what your numbers are at any given instant.
I'd rather donate $1,500 to Mitch OGC.
Yeah, I think so. That's a good idea, Peter. When can I expect your donation? Is that a pledge? Is that a pledge?
Is that a pledge pin?
A pledge? Is that a pledge? That's how the synagogues always do it. They make you pledge.
Do you remember
and then
Animal House, the movie?
If you don't pay your pledge, they send the hitmen after you.
Yeah, that was a line from Animal House, the movie with John Belushi and all those guys.
Oh, we all remember that.
Yeah, he goes, "Is that a pledge pin?"
Where'd Lewis go? Lewis must have had to go off and do something. He disappeared.
Yeah.
Turned his camera off, muted his mic, but still connected. There you are.
There he is.
Oh, don't be sorry. You're allowed to take a break if you have to. Oh man. So what else do I want to talk about today? Unless any of you got something you want to bring up, please feel free.
Well, I turned 64 about a week or so ago.
Happy birthday.
Yeah,
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
How old?
64.
Oh, I'll be 64 June 15th.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I couldn't be healthier. And one of the things I wanted to add, Mitch, you were talking about, I think you were talking about how you dropped your medical checkup. And, I'm fortunate that about 2 years ago, I picked up a primary care doctor who's very young, kind of just, I want to say only a couple of years practicing now, out of the, whatever the training pipeline they have. But she supports keto, super low keto. She supports carnivore. She doesn't care that I'm not taking a statin, even though my LDL goes from, mid 300s to the mid 400s.
That's where mine is. Mine is.
She was like, look, I remember, matter of fact, when the first time I had my appointment, she was a new doctor that took the place of another one. And I brought her my advanced lipids panel.
Yeah, your NMR.
Yeah, and I handed it to her. I said, look, I don't need to do the blood labs because I just took a full, on my dime, I did it all. And the first thing she said, she was looking at it, flipping a couple of pages. She's like, wow, you've got all of your LDL is the big fluffy type.
Exactly.
And I was like, my jaw dropped. And I was like saying to myself, man, this is a blessing.
Doctor.
I think that test. I think that test. Now, I don't think people got me wrong in my video. I dropped annual physicals and blood tests.
Right.
If I don't see a reason to have a physical or a blood test, I'm not going to bother because this is a fishing expedition for them and an opportunity for me to get insulted and yelled at and condemned and ridiculed. For my stupidity. I'm not going to subject myself to that, but I'm not avoiding blood tests. I'll tell her at the VA, do these blood tests. And then I can go on the internet and I can look at all the lab results. They don't do the ones I really want.
Right.
They don't do cystatin Cs. They don't do NMRs. They don't do fasting insulin. In fact, they don't do very many of the really worthwhile tests that actually tell you something. But the NMR, and it means nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy.
Right.
Say that 10 times fast, will you? That test gives you a profile. They put you in pattern A, pattern B. A healthy person with LDLs between 350 and 450, depending on how long I fasted, because that tells you how much fat is being transported through your blood to be used for energy, which somebody eating the standard American sugar diet never burns any fat. So, of course, their LDLs are going to be low, which is why Nick Norwitz was able to lower his LDL 70% by eating nothing but Oreo cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 Oreo pills a day.
Right. So,
Yeah.
so I can say, and this is a height of stupidity, I can say, I'm going to fool my doctor for 2 weeks before my blood test. I'm going to eat nothing but sugar. And so she can tell me, man, your cholesterol is perfect. Used to be, you got it right perfect. I said, yeah, but I'm killing myself with all the sugar, but my cholesterol is good. It doesn't make any sense. Does not make sense.
Yeah. Well, Mitch, I have an annual appointment with her next month in February, and I'm going to bring that up to her. I'm going to say, look, you got a lot of patients to deal with. Like if I don't come to you for my annual checkup, if I'm as long as I'm feeling fine, I don't see a reason to come in here. I check my blood pressure, regularly. I monitor my weight, which doesn't ever change.
Yeah. Well,
I'm eating the most healthiest food. Yeah, I'm eating the most, like, if I get really sick or if I break my leg, or if I have a major, problem, I'll drop in, make an appointment, and whatever. But the only reason I'm kind of scared to not go to these annual checkups is I'm worried. And I want to verify that with her, that I would lose her as a patient if I don't.
And I worried about that with the VA, but I was reassured by a number of people at the VA that even if they didn't see me for 5 years, they're not going to drop me. If I need them, they're there for me, and they don't. That's a policy of theirs. The VA is also very, very, very strict on patient autonomy.
Mm-hmm.
When you say, I don't want that, they don't try to sell it to you.
Yeah.
They just write down in their notes, recommended a statin, patient refused.
I have a lot of experience with them as well.
Yeah.
I'm a retired Navy guy, so.
They don't yell at you. They don't get arrogant. They don't feel challenged. You have the right. You have the absolute right to dictate your health care. I wish the hospitals that I've been going to had the same attitude. They don't. Or the doctors that I see. Now, there are doctors that I do have in my life that I'm going to continue with because they're specialties. You have an eye doctor.
Yeah, I do the eye exam.
Doctor. I have a dermatologist because I had skin cancer. So I go in to see him once a year, but there's a reason to make sure I have no recurrence of the cancer. Get a good looking over. Okay.
Yeah, I doubt you do now that your mitochondria is functioning at optimum level.
Yeah, I don't worry about cancer now.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you've got a doctor for a particular reason and you need, those things should be monitored. There's also some tests you should get. If you aren't 70 yet, you should get a colonoscopy because colon cancer sneaks up on you. There are no symptoms until it's too late. So it's a procedure. I recommend everybody, once they turn 50, get a colonoscopy, and then they'll tell you after the first one how often you need them. With me, on my first one at age 50, I was perfectly clean, not a single polyp. When I left there, they said, we'll see you in 10 years. So I went back at 60, same thing. We'll see you in 10 years. I went back at 70, same thing. They didn't even tell me come back in 10 years once I was 70, because if you've had 3 clean colonoscopies and you're already almost 80 years old, why take the risk? Because there are risks to those things. Not very common, but they can perforate a bowel and you can die from that. You got to rush you right into surgery.
And you're under anesthesia.
Yeah. So, well, it's anesthesia, but it's anesthesia light,
Okay.
like Versed. It's one of those things where you're not really that deeply under. You can't remember what happened, but they can still wake you up if they have to. Somebody's
nice
going to
nap.
shook you hard enough, you'd wake up. Whereas when you're under a surgical anesthesia, propofol or any of those other, it's a different story. It's a different story. But you know, they're easy to do. And if you can catch colon cancer, half the time, if they got a polyp in early stage, they'll cauterize it right then and there with the same instrument that they're looking around with the scope. It's got a little deal in there that it can burn anything that's a pre-cancer, and you get it taken care of. And most of the time, they don't tell you to come back any sooner than 5 years if they burn one of those things, because it's such a slow-growing cancer. But
Now, I've dodged the bullet for 5 years, and I have to do a colonoscopy twice a year because my mother died of colon cancer. So I'm all for it, but this will be the last year that I have to do a colonoscopy. I'll be 65 next month.
yeah, but your mother, you have a different diet than your mother had. And if she had your diet, she probably would not have died of colon cancer. So
exactly. And I'm the one that found the Dr. Atkins book in her closet after she died. She needed to dust that off and bring it out.
I don't have mine anymore. I don't know what happened to it. I bought it when it first came out back in 1970, late 1972. I bought that book. And that's been the basis. At least I've tried my whole life. But as so many times, the addictions just won out over me. Usually, after I lost the weight, I decided, well, I'm there. I'm at my goal weight. I don't need to do this anymore. And, 6 months later and 50, 60 pounds heavier, I'm looking in the mirror and saying, how the hell did this happen again? 15 times in my life, I went through that cycle. Up and down, 50, 60 pounds, up and down. It's almost 3 years now I've maintained this level of weight loss. And it's not a chore because I don't get the thoughts. I don't get the rationalizations from my subconscious trying to sell me on it would be okay. It'll be okay just this once. You go back on your diet again tomorrow. Yeah.
Nope. That one taste of ice cream is not good enough for me. I have to say no.
And you know what the tell is? There's a tell where you can tell absolutely if it's your addiction selling you a bill of goods, or it's going to be okay for you to eat that 3 or 4 scoops or bites of ice cream. The tell is after you've eaten it and you've eaten enough of it to basically turn off the addiction for a short period of time. Do you feel shame, guilt, and weakness?
Yeah.
Because if your conscious mind is given back to you, and the first thing it does is say, shame on you, then it lost that ability for a short period of time. And that's the mechanism. And I tell people this, and that there's an origin for every human behavior, including addiction. The origin of this is evolutionary. It goes back to the necessity of a caveman to get off his rock, go out and risk his life to hunt for food. When if he was thinking logically, he would say, hell no, I'm not going to have to risk my life chasing that big animal with a stick. So that's why it evolved, that if the brain had the power to keep the animal from fearing the hunt, then they went out and hunted. Otherwise, they would have starved to death. That would have been deselected evolutionarily and not passed on to future generations. So what we have is we are stuck with the programming, the genetic program of our ancestors who had their minds turned off and did get off the rock and go out. And that's also why when you're fasted, you're sharper, smarter, and have more energy.
100%.
That was a trait that had to be, because that's when you needed to be faster and slicker. When you were hungry, you don't feel that way after you stuff your face with a bunch of fat meat. You want to just go to sleep, take a nap. But that's been going on since long before Homo sapiens, and long before hominids. That goes way back to all animals run on that same programming. That the hunger, they don't think consciously, but they're motivated by that. They get extra speed and extra strength, and their eyesight may get a little better, but they've got better hunters the hungrier they are. They don't get weak and tired, because then they never would have come up the evolutionary ladder. So everything we do now is a sum total of every lesson learned by having something happen accidentally, a little change in genetics, having it thrown out into the real world, find out whether it was beneficial and enhanced survival, or whether it made it harder to survive. And the only thing we have in our genetics are the things that enhanced survival. And that's purely logic. Otherwise, somewhere along the long chain of ancestors we have over hundreds of millions of years, some of them would not have made it, and we wouldn't be here. So, and that's why I talk a lot about evolution. Because nobody planned or blueprinted that. That happened all by trial and error, which is the way the word really works. Well, listen, guys. I'm over time again. It is 10 after. Boy, where did the time go tonight? Man, it just really flew by. Thanks, everybody. David, good to see you. And Gary,
Yeah, thanks.
Thomas,
Thank
Peter, Jerry, in your forest. Thanks so much. Say goodbye. Okay. See you, David. There we go. And that leaves just me. That leaves me and all you in the chat room. We have 106 people still here. Great show. Good evening. Good evening. Appreciate everybody coming in. I'm sorry if there was any questions in the chat. I didn't get a chance to concentrate much on it, but these evening live streams are generally like that. We have a panel and we get talking to each other. Who did I miss? Rick's here. Quack at your Monday. See you, Rick, Sandy Blythe, Bride's Biscuit, Tammy Batarsh, Spanky, Golf Addict, Kathy, Pond Apple. Pearl Grandma's here, and John Mark is here with us. Good to see you. And who else did I not say hi to? That's in the chat. Mandy Beddoes. Hi, Mandy. How are you? And Carnivore Farm Mama's here. How you doing? Lambs. Good to see you, my friend. SMH Cast. I think I said hi to you. And Jem is here. Jem. She said she lost a neighbor friend. She had to go. Okay, she's not here anymore. And anybody else that I missed? Probably. Latrogeneville or Will. Wow. How are you? Don't recognize that name? Glad you made it. If you're still here, Rabbi Susie's here. Journeyman Fix It. A lot of different people here. Good. Thanks for coming, guys. I'll see you Monday morning. 7 a.m. morning coffee with Mitch. And until then, take today, the rest of today, and tomorrow off. But eat meat.